I first learned about Tower Garden in 2015, early 2015. But before I get started, I really want to say thank you to all of you that organized this call and everybody that is here tonight or watching this recording. It's been such a joy to see the towers and to see all of these videos on the towers. That's absolutely what drew me to this company. But there's something much deeper underneath all of that. And it's really a painful part of my life. When I was in eighth grade, my dad had a heart attack in his early 40s. And later that year, my freshman year of high school, so that same year, so the heart attack for my dad was in the spring. And then in the fall, my mom had a heart attack as well, her first heart attack. So they both had early heart attacks in their 40s, early 40s. And I was, just a kid at the time, but it had a really big impact on me. I saw my parents' health continue to decline over my teenage years throughout high school. My mom had 7 heart attacks between my freshman year of high school and like the middle of my college years. And a stroke as well. So it was just so, I hated it. I wanted to make it stop, right? I hated that was happening. It was so hard to see how much life they were missing out on because their quality of life declined through that time. And so it really made an impact on me. And I didn't even know it until I started to grow up and become a wife and a mom myself. But when I became a wife and when I became a mom, something really shifted in me. So my daughter, our first child that you saw in some of those pictures, she was born in 2013. And so I was doing my best, right? Like trying to do what I knew would be better, but I still had this like pressure and this weight on me that not only did I have these things in my genetics, because my parents were struggling with type 2 diabetes as well, but that was something that I likely passed on to my daughter as well. And so that was heavy. And I became like, I wanted more for her. I wanted more for her. I wanted more for myself as a mom and a wife. I wanted to be lively and vibrant and active and be able to do all the things that I know that my mom, wanted to do too, but how these health things like really, really impacted her ability to just go and do. Now, I'm so thankful she's still here with us and we had this amazing trip this summer. So God is so good and there is so much good as well in the story, but that's underneath all of this for me is wanting more for my family and wanting more for others that I know are also impacted by these same sorts of diseases. And what I have learned through this community, through the Juice Plus and Tower Garden community, through the people that I've met and the things and the different speakers that I've heard from and information that's been out through these last 7+ years, I have learned these important truths that our bodies, the human body is designed to feel well. And when you fuel it with what it needs, it absolutely more often than not you can feel that. I mean, look at our speakers tonight. It's amazing. Like I look up to you all and want that same thing when I am in my 50s and beyond. And so it's exciting, right, to know that we are not hopeless victims of our genetics. And I have learned that through this community. But I'm getting so excited here. Let me back up a little bit. So I saw a picture of a Tower Garden in a friend from college on Facebook. I saw a picture of a Tower Garden sitting in her living room in the middle of in the middle of winter in Indiana. And it just like caught my eye. My degree is in science. I was working as a science teacher. So I don't know if it was a science teacher part of me or just that it was so cool that she was growing her own food for her family right in her living room. And I was like, what is this thing? Like I was like a magnetic pull. Like I need to know what this is. And so I quickly decided to join the business as well. And right when I decided to buy a Tower Garden for our home, I mean, I went to my husband. It was like, I don't care like what we have to do. Like we have to get this thing. And so that's how my journey began. And what's really cool, just like Beverly was saying that throughout her time with the company, like she's more excited about it now than before, meaning that it just keeps getting better and better. And that is how this has been for me, that there's only more good and good and good that comes from digging in or leaning into this community and the products. Although I was so excited about the Tower Garden, it didn't take long for me to learn about the capsules and begin taking them. And I'm so thankful that I get to put those nutrients into my body and into the bodies of all the people I love and the people I get to talk to and get to know. and share that with them because it matters. It is food and that our body needs all those things. There's no other way to make that happen. And what's funny is you think like at first I thought, well, if I'm taking that, then maybe do I really need to eat all these other plants? But I eat so many more fruits and vegetables today than I ever did before I learned about Juice Plus, but I still will not go a day without it. Right. So I'm so thankful for that. My kids love the complete smoothies. I mean, the powders, we make pudding smoothies. It's a blessing that my kids, who you heard about, my family's history, and my dad's dad died early of a heart attack. My dad's sister died early of a heart attack. It's not just my parents. Like, this is years and years of generations of impacting our family, that we are changing the health trajectory of our family. And this company is the reason why, because it gave me direction and support and the tools I needed to be able to do that for my family. So what I was going to say is my kids, it's so normal to them to ask for a salad for lunch, to get a salad after school for an after school snack, to want to make pudding out of the complete powders for breakfast, or shake it up before an event, or like a sporting event or something like that. And that's just cool. And I have to stop sometimes and remind myself like just how amazing it is, because it's become such a norm for us that I forget like just how incredible it is. So thank you for that intro video. It was cool to kind of see it all unfold. When I learned about Tower Garden, I was working as a science teacher at the time, and I had this really, really strong pull to want to also share this experience with my students at school, because the whole reason why I wanted a Tower Garden in my home is because I wanted my daughter, who had just turned 2 at the time, I wanted her to get to plant her own seeds, because I had seen Stephen Ritz, teacher in Bronx, New York, growing with his students on Tower Gardens in their classrooms, and the kids were eating what they were growing. And I thought, well, that's really cool. Like, the last thing I want to do is have to hold my kid to a plate and be like, you have to eat your broccoli, or you have to eat that. Like, I would love for it to just kind of beautifully unfold, like what I was seeing happen with Stephen Ritz and his students. And so I thought, okay, if I bring it into my home and she plants her own seeds and watches it grow, then she may want to eat what she grows. And that's exactly what happened with my 2-year-old daughter. And so that's when I knew I had to bring it to our schools. It has been such an incredible journey, because what the kids in schools in our area and throughout our state and the nearby states that I've been able to work with over the last several years, what I've seen them do again and again and again in all different classrooms, all different like rural settings, city setting, from preschool all the way through university, there's something that happens over and over and over again. It's that when kids are given an opportunity to grow their own plants on the Tower Garden with such low maintenance, that they're going to have really high success. When they're growing indoors, they put the seed in, it grows. So they're automatically excited. They put their little names next to their plants on the tower. And then more often than not, kids can't wait to eat what they grow. And that's something that I just can't turn off. I want to see more and more and more of that happen, because I know that if they have these positive experiences around eating these whole foods, these fresh foods that they're growing, then when they become adults and they choose what they're going to feed themselves and their families, it won't be so scary to shop in the produce section or the farmer's market and eat those things. So it's a joy to be here tonight. And I want to leave you with this one last thought, that, and just like something that I believe so deep within me, that it's not just me, it's not just Beverly, it's not just Adrienne, it's not just the other people that that are doing this, that can do this. Anyone can do this. You can make a difference in your life, in your health, in your family's health, in your community, and you just have to take that first step. So there's nothing to lose here, and only great things to gain. So we just I just cleaned my tower. We were out of town on a motorhome trip for all of July, and so I just have it here in my dining room. This one I'm going to show you. And actually, this is one of my favorite parts with the students, is watching the seeds just break out of their little seeds. So I actually don't cover up my seeds when I grow indoors. I just let them just grow right on the rock wool. is so exciting for them because they actually see the seedling pop out. And my favorite things to grow, I have lots of different lettuces here indoors that I planted, some Swiss chard. Also, kale is a really favorite thing that I like to put in smoothies. Dinosaur kale is my favorite. So all of mine are little babies right now. I did do a total cleaning of my tower garden, which is something I like to do at least once a year. So thank you so much for listening.